Wishing you all a blessed fifth Sunday of the blessed Holy Lent. As I was telling the congregation on Friday, we only have one more Friday evening or Friday afternoon liturgy. And it's crazy how when the fast is the focus, it flies. And I hope that all of you are feeling this and you are going to take advantage of the last couple of weeks to be filled. The gospel today is, I think, of the last four gospels, it is the overlooked one. The prodigal son, everyone talks about. And the Samaritan woman, everyone talks about. And the man born blind, he was given eyes. Big deal, big deal, big deal. The paralytic man, he's almost the overlooked. And I was meditating on this, and I started asking myself a question. I said, how long was he paralyzed? 38 years. Okay. But was he born this way? Was he born this way? So I started researching. Was the paralytic man born paralyzed? And I was thinking, I'm going to find something. It'll be really cool. I can't wait to share it. I couldn't find anything. Actually, the thing that all of the fathers kept saying is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he was born this way or he became this way. It doesn't matter. And the reason they were saying it came to one important point about paralysis. This is left open because the paralysis of our spiritual lives, it can go both ways. Sometimes the circumstances of your life cause you to accept the life of paralysis. And I was born this way. I was born with this weakness, right? So sometimes your life can tell you, khalas, I'm paralyzed. Or your choices can paralyze you. And both of them are dangerous because the life of paralysis is a life without movement, a life without progress, a life without living. To be stuck in one place forever, this is scary. And so I started to meditate, and I thought about the story. And we see three very distinct types of paralysis in this story. The man was not just paralyzed in the physical. He was paralyzed by the things around him. So we're going to meditate on the three types of paralysis and how to hear the word of the Lord and to follow him. So the first thing that paralyzes is the water. Abuna, the water? The water was an angel. Why would the water paralyze? Well, think about this. It was like a rush to get to the water. Anytime the water was touched or stirred up, it's like a rush. It's like Abuna Dawood Lamai when he came to visit and he's leaving and people are stepping on people ashen tasallam alayhum. Right? So everybody was so excited to see Abuna that they wanted to. Or when the Pope comes somewhere or the bishop and everybody is trying to just grab him, right? It was chaos every single time that the angel touched the water. And why? Because they expected that the water would heal them. And so the water represents putting God in a very specific box. We are paralyzed by our expectations of God. Mazdi, here's what happens. God, I need to be married by 25. God, I need to get into med school at this program. God, my kids need to be having kids by this age. God, my son needs to be a deacon. God, my daughter needs to be a servant. My parents have to live until 95. This, I'm giving God expectations. I'm giving God expectations. When I do this, I'm picking up God. I'm saying, you're so cute, God, and I'm putting him in a box. You will operate in my box. What I want from you, you will do. Because anything outside of this is nonsense. What do you mean? I have to wait till I'm 30 to get married. Khalas, I'll be too old. What do you mean? I need to wait, 10 years for this promotion. I won't even be smart enough to keep doing the job. What do you mean, my son, if he's not a deacon, he's not, it's okay. What do you mean, not a servant, it's okay? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? Now, all of these things are good, okay? They're all good. But there's a difference between what is good that we want and what is demanded that we think is the only way we'll be saved. We don't realize that one of the things that paralyzes us is the sin of pride. The sin of pride, kibriya, le. Ashan, I believe I know better than you, God. I know better than you. I know this relationship will make me happy. This program will make me happy. This score will make me happy. My son does this. My husband does that. My wife works this. Da. It's okay to have things you want, but it's not okay to tell God it's the only way to peace. And so the sin of pride is that we know better than God, and we are paralyzed by the water, the expectations. There was an expectation of the water, that it was the only way to be healed. And the Lord himself came as a Messiah in a way no one expected and saved this man. What is the remedy for the sin of pride, for putting God in a box? The remedy is humility. How does the humility look? I wish more of us asked God for understanding. Ya Rab, illa hasal dilwati. What's happening in my life? And I want to understand why it's happening. I want to understand, is there a better way? Do we do this? Or do we tell God, no, God, you need to understand me. You need to understand me. I don't need to understand you. I don't need your understanding. You need to understand what I need. And you need to do what I say, because what I say will make all of us happy. I will worship you more when you do what I want. I will give you more when you do what I want. My marriage will be better when you do what I want. My kids will be better. My job, my life. This is wrong. This is the sin of pride, that I know better than my Savior. In the book of Isaiah 66, 2-4, we actually hear the Lord talk about this. And he says, for all those things my hand has made, and all those things exist, says the Lord. But on this one will I look, on him who is humble and of a contrite spirit, who trembles at my word. And then he goes on to correct those who are proud. He says, he who kills a bull as if he slays a man, who sacrifices a lamb as if he breaks a dog's neck, who offers a grain offering like he offers swine's blood, who burns incense as if he blesses an idol, just as they have chosen their own ways, their soul delights in their abominations, so will I choose their delusions and bring their fears on them. Because when I called, no one answered. When I spoke, they did not hear, but they did evil before my eyes and chose that in which I do not delight. Stop telling God that we know better. Stop telling God we want him to do better. Start telling God, I will do better. Help me understand what you intend for my life. Help me understand and be patient for the moment that you will deliver me, because your deliverance is greater than any story I could write alone. So the first type of paralysis is the paralysis of the water. The second is the paralysis of the people. The paralysis of the people. What does he say to the Lord, this man? He says, Hanam, I need someone to put me in the water. And every time I wait for someone to put me in the water, it takes too long, and then I don't get what I want, and the other person is now no longer blind, or he can walk and he has this, and I'm still sick. What is he saying? The only way I can be saved is someone puts me in the water. The reason I'm not saved is no one's putting me in the water. What is this code for? It's code for everybody else's fault. Everyone else's fault. It's your fault that I'm not successful. It's your fault that our marriage stinks. It's your fault that our house is not peaceful. It's your fault that we don't have money. It's your fault. It's your fault. It's your fault. I said before, with the water, we are paralyzed by the expectations of God. With the people, we are paralyzed by our expectations of people, and we blame them for our weakness. We blame them for our weakness. Now, do other people have a responsibility to us? Yes, they do. They have a responsibility to listen, to understand, not to do what we say, but to engage in a faithful effort. We call this, in the business world, a good faith effort, right? In a contract, it's a good faith effort. You put forth your best. And unfortunately, what happens is the reason we are paralyzed is the sin of laziness. The sin of laziness. That what we do is not as important as what other people do. That's why I blame everyone else. That's why I complain about everyone else. Abuna, I would have been here early, bas imrati matakhar. I would have been here, I would have served this year, but my kids are just too hard. I would have. We would be a much happier family if she would smile more. What are you doing to make her smile? If my kids were easier, I would serve. Are you serving your home in the first place, that your kids are hard? I'm not saying that you'll do everything right and everything will work. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is we have a part to play. Stop being a victim of your circumstance and choosing the path of victory in spite of my circumstances. We have one responsibility. It's not to fix everyone around us. It's not to be everyone's punching bag. None of this is our responsibility. Our responsibility is this, my brothers and sisters. Be faithful in what is yours. Be faithful. If you are called to be a good husband, understand what it means to be a good husband. What does your wife need? And give her that and ask her for what you need to continue to be a better man. The same if you are a wife and you want to be a good wife. Ask as a daughter, as a son, as a parent, as a servant, as an employee, as a manager. Ask questions and become wiser. This is your faithfulness, to understand what can I do? And then to do it to the best of your ability and the best of my ability. We say this before, that people say, do your best and let God do the rest. And I told you guys, it's cute, but the answer is more simple. Do your best and ask God to give you rest. Ya Rab, khalini rayah. Give me rest. Let me rest, that I have done what I can, and now you will do what you will. And let your will be done, because your will is greater than my will. We were paralyzed by the water because we were paralyzed by the expectations of others. That they would be the ones to fix our happiness. They would be the ones to fix our problems. They would be the ones to build our lives. No, we have a responsibility to build our lives. Let us do our part and have rest with what God does next. In the book of Sirach, chapter 2, verses 16 to 20, it says, woe to those who have lost endurance and who have abandoned upright ways and who have turned aside to wicked ways. And what will they do when the Lord begins to examine them? Those who fear the Lord will not be unbelieving toward His word, and those who love Him will keep His way. Those who fear the Lord will seek the things that are well-pleasing to Him, and those who love Him will be filled with His law. Those who fear the Lord will prepare their hearts, and they will sanctify their souls in His sight. It is our job to do our part. I don't want you to worry about what anyone else does. I don't want you to be resentful to what other people do not provide. I want you to know that if you do what you can, God will cover, He will comfort, He will carry, because He is a king and a conqueror. No less. No less. So the first type of paralysis is the water, paralyzed by expectations of God. And we must ask for understanding and not tell God you have to understand. The second is the people, that we are paralyzed by the expectations of others. And the remedy to the sin of laziness is to be faithful and to rest in the Lord's arms, that He will carry what you cannot. And the third form of the paralysis is the bed. Now, I didn't think about this, but as I was reading the Fathers, they started to talk about what the bed represented. And that the bed represented the comfort. As far as we know, as long as he is paralyzed, he's on this bed. Okay? As long as he's paralyzed, he's on this bed. Now, I feel pretty confident. البed ده مش Tempur-Pedic, right? This is not a nice bed. I have no doubt in my mind. Okay? But it was still a bed. It was still something that he would pick up after he was healed and walk with. Okay? So the bed was something attached to him. And even if he couldn't get in the water, at least he had his bed. Right? At least he had his bed. I will tell you that when we moved from Arizona to California, one of the only things that I insisted we had to bring was the bed. Why? Well, we put a lot of money into the bed. That's, by the way, one of the best things you can do is invest in a bed. You need a good sleep. Anyway, the point is, the bed is so important. And the bed for us is comfort. The bed for us is comfort. And our comfort is what sometimes stops us from being courageous. We are paralyzed by our comforts that we are unwilling to leave for the sake of something better. How many of us have given up social media in the fast? Can't do that, need it too much. How many of us have given up idle talk or gossip? Can't give that up. That's the only way I get my tea. Come on. How many times? How many of us have given things up in this fast that we knew would make us better? And the answer is not enough. Not enough. And the thing is, oh, I gave up food. Oh, I gave up, I gave up a really, really bad sin. But you know what I still do? I still yell at people. I'm still argumentative. I'm still unkind. What are we doing? What are we doing? When I say we are paralyzed by our comforts, it is not just the comfort of material things. It is the comfort of earthly wickedness. It is the comfort of vice. My way to cope with my circumstances. I still yell and I still get aggressive. I still use foul language. I still will not forgive. I still will give silent treatment for hours. I still. Okay, what did you give up? What did you give up? And the problem and why we're paralyzed is that the sin is the sin of stubbornness and fear. Stubbornness and fear. Not a fear of God, but a fear that God's promise is not enough. Stubbornness, that what I have is better than what you have. This is a lack of hope and faith in God's promises. How could we, the Church of Martyrs, believe less? How could we? You know, Bakrullah said something beautiful yesterday at a funeral. He was saying that the people of the previous generations that came here and immigrated, they were like Moses and the Israelites, leaving a tough place to come to another place to give life. And the faithfulness that they had to keep going no matter what. Do we have the faithfulness to keep going no matter what? Are we willing to leave behind our comfort? There is a generation that left behind the comfort of language, the comfort of prayer, to come here and build a life for us. What are we going to leave behind? What comforts will we put down so we can become conquerors? The remedy is courage. For the sin of stubbornness and fear, the remedy is courage. Please know, I promise you, what you leave behind will not kill you. But I promise you that continuing to carry what is killing you will. Again, I promise you that what you leave behind will not kill you. But what you continue to carry, this will kill you. Your grudges, your aggression, your unkindness, your lack of sensitivity, your lack of inclusivity, these are the things that will kill us. These are the things that will knock us to the ground. These are the things that will paralyze us in comfort. And the funny thing is, can you imagine being comfortable in paralysis? Can you imagine being comfortable in being helpless? I cannot. I think all of us, if you've ever been hurt, you've injured yourself, what do? As fast as you can, you try to recover because you don't want to feel weak. Why are we accepting to be weak? Why are we accepting that our unkindness, that our lack of connection with God, that our aggression, that our wickedness, why are we accepting that this has to be part of us? I'm not telling you you're going to get rid of all of it, but I'm telling you you should try. The more we try, the less we die, because it's not about me, it's about Him. The courage of a Christian, St. Augustine says, is not the same as the courage of the world. It is not the courage of warriors who fight to win, but the courage of those who remain committed in faith and hope, even in the face of death. He who loves the way of virtue does not fear the hardships of the way. What you think you lose in order to live will never be greater than what you will gain because you give. It will never be greater than what you gain because you give. The only thing that wakes us from our sleep is the voice of Christ. And that's when He spoke to the man, do you want to be made well? The thing that we do when we fall is we get up and we go to the temple the way this man did, that we come to the place of healing to meet Christ. And the only thing that keeps us going is sharing Him with others. Why am I telling you this? Because you have to have courage every step of the way. The courage is His voice is enough. The word is enough. The courage is that going to the place of safety, you will find safety and coverage. Come to the church, go to the place of prayer, you will find what you need. And remember that when you share Him by living for Him, you will be filled. Whatever you think you lose will be restored 160, 30-fold. God does not forget those who fight for Him. We have a mission, my brothers and sisters. We are done being helpless. We are done living in paralysis, and we are ready to live with purpose. The first type of paralysis is the water, and that is the sin of pride, overcome by asking God to give us understanding, not forcing God to understand. Number 2 is the people, the sin of laziness, and we overcome it by being faithful. I will do my best, and God will give me rest and show me what's next. And the third is the bed, which is the sin of stubbornness and fear, and we put it down with the courage to listen for His voice, to pursue Him, and to go where He is, and to share Him. And when we do this, we will be told, as He was, rise, take up your bed and walk, and we will become living evangelists for the living God. And glory be to God forever and ever. Amen.